What's the kindest thing a stranger has ever done for you, without asking for anything in return? I was totally down on my luck living out of a hotel. I did have a job, but not enough money to stay there until my check came. A friend of mine bought me lunch and was telling that they couldn't help with much, but this is what they had, which was $300 short. I guess we had talked about it, but I don't remember. The next thing I know, this guy at the next table is leaving and he tells me not to go until he comes back. His wife stayed behind even though they had paid the bill. He was back in a few minutes and he hands me $300. I asked him for his contact info and said he didn't want it back and to keep working to stay off the streets. The man literally stopped my mum and I from becoming homeless. I still have a job and I am in a nice apartment now, but I will always remember that man's generosity. I have tried to help other people as much as I can to pay him back in some way. Thanks for the question. It reminded me of one man's generosity of spirit and kindness, and I think we all need that right now. Thanks for sharing this. Really elevated my mood as I'm approaching a similar situation. I have my hopes up. A stranger bought myself and my ex dinner on Valentine's Day and the waitress said he was so happy to do it. I guess he was a widower, and doing a kind thing was enough to keep him happy through tough times. Thank you, stranger. That's so heartwarming. Don't get me wrong, I wish my ex the worst cause she cheated on me and I found out a week later, but this memory always made me smile. Damn, sorry man. That's kinda bad. But at least another human being treated you well. Whoa, plot twist. And the hook after the jab? She cheated on him with the widower for buying her dinner. I was homeless, was thirsty and hungry. I walked into this fast food place at 2 AM and sat my bag down. I was dirty and smelled horrible. I asked him if he had anything I could buy for $1 and he said that anything on the menu I wanted. I told him, but all I had was $1. He said if I gave him the $1 he would cover the rest of the price. I gave him the $1 and got a double cheeseburger and some fries and a large drink. When he gave me the order I went to the table, sat down, and when I opened the bag there was a $50 bill inside of it with a note saying that he hopes it will help me and he hopes I am able to get back on my feet soon and wished me the best in life. It actually brought tears to my eyes. How are you doing now? I am on SSI and moved in with an elderly woman who I pay rent for a bedroom, around $320 a month. I've been trying to find another room for rent about the same price, but I can't, and if she dies I will be back on the streets. But this time I won't survive it. I'm thinking of you. I hope things become more stable for you. Wish I could help. Thank you. I am trying the best I can with what little income I have. I was struggling through college, had maybe $30 in my account and really needed gas. I commuted 25 miles to campus every day. I pull in, and it's full. But a guy waves me down to pull in behind him. He says, hey, I bought more than I needed, so there's about $10 of gas still on there. I almost started crying, because that got me almost 4 gallons of gas. It really helped me out in a bad time, and I'm forever grateful. I had something very similar happen years ago. I was on my way to work, about 40 miles away, and stopped at a gas station 10 minutes away from my house for $20 of fuel. I went to pay and discovered that my account was almost empty. A payment that shouldn't have been taken for another 4 days had been taken early. At the time I didn't have any credit cards, so I couldn't have used one of them, so I stepped out of line and called my parents to grab the $20 I had forgotten on my nightstand. But before the call could even connect, this older gentleman came up to me, tapped me on the shoulder and said it's taken care of, and then just walked off before I could even respond. It took me a minute to register what he was even talking about. Then the gas station attendant explained it. I never got that guy's name. I've never seen him around since. I have no idea who he is or anything. I doubt he knew me either. He ordered a hit on whoever took that payment out early. How nice of him. I hear they murdered his whole family. Had the same thing. I had just gotten my license, and an older gentleman in line behind me covered the cost, saying I looked like his daughter, then disappeared. I was so thankful and absolutely stunned. Took a few years of life experience to work out that the look on his face showed how much it meant to him. Some old couple gave my son 50k tickets at the arcade. The husband was dying. This was their last trip and had been collecting tickets for over 10 years. I did that for a kid a few years back. Neither one of us was dying, but a machine glitched and gave us double. Like, the stack of tickets I'd won, I needed 2 hands to hold on one piece and I got twice that, requiring my husband to help carry them. The arcade wouldn't hear it, didn't want half of them back. As far as they were concerned, I'd won the huge jackpot twice. So I took the second stack and made my hubby help me find a kid. Had to be like 80 years old. Him and his dad out for a movie night. And his face. My god. I still see that face and how stoked he was. Still makes me smile. I've got a similar story that will hopefully make you smile a little. I was on vacation with my wife, her brother and his girlfriend. We went to a boardwalk that had games. I played that basketball game 3-pointer where it's like $8 for 3 shots or something like that. I made the last shot by bouncing on the rim twice and then it fell in. I won this gigantic bear like 4.5 feet tall. It was so big we couldn't fit it in the car with us. While we were leaving, we saw these 2 little girls with their parents and asked the parents if they would like the bear. Also had a smaller frog thing. They said of course. They were shy at first, but then I danced the bear at them and this one girl's face lit up and she squealed with joy and was just jumping her feet with excitement. She walked over and hugged the bear hard and took it from me. It was such a good memory I have. I almost didn't give it away too, because whoever wins that game anyway. Glad I did though. I hope that's the kind of old person I'll be. Best I've got so far is giving away crane machine toys, because I love playing those things. But what the hell is a grown woman gonna do with so many plushies? Just makes me happy to see the little boogers smile. Sometimes I'll just leave the toy in the prize box if there isn't a kid around. I'm in for the win, not for the prize. What a sweet story, Battle Dong Dave. I'm a little late to the party, but I hope this gets noticed. When I was 17-ish, I was going with my family to New York, and it was supposed to be really hot there. I hadn't been on airplanes very often, and didn't know I should dress warm, especially on such long flights. Flying from Portland, I wore a pair of shorts and a t-shirt, and forgot to grab my sweatshirt out of my checked bag. It was a night flight, and I was freezing trying to sleep. Attendants never came by and I didn't know I could ask for a blanket. I was away from my family next to this older, foreign tourist couple, and tried to do my best to sleep while I was freezing. I woke up after a few hours, and realized I wasn't as cold as I was before. I sat up and saw I had this hand-knitted shawl wrapped around my shoulders. The lady next to me must have seen the quizzical look on my face, as she then says in broken English, "You shake in sleep." I have this, pointing to the shawl. I thanked her profusely and she says, "Go to sleep. He's sleeping," pointing to her husband who had started to rouse. I fell back asleep for the rest of the flight and thanked her a million times more as we were getting off the plane. What a lovely woman. When my husband was around 19 and as skinny as a needle, he was shivering on a Greyhound bus. He woke up and found himself covered with a Hazid's long black frock coat. The guy just wanted him to be warm. He found out after the fact that the coat was 100% silk. I wish I wasn't surprised to see something positive about a Hazid on Reddit. Thank you for sharing. My brother was in the ICU for weeks and my family would take turns spending the night there with him. I was there one night and freezing, but managed to fall asleep. I woke up around 3 AM to the night nurse tucking a heated blanket around me. "You looked cold, baby. Go back to sleep." I will never forget her. Heated blankets are amazing. After I delivered one of my babies, my crashing hormones sent me into a crazy shivering spell. The nurse brought in several heated blankets and the warm weight of them was so soothing. I think I fell asleep instantly. Nurses are just the best. Bruh, I did not need tears RN. One day I was stranded in London after visiting my brother. I hate traveling and I'm from a city that's close, but not so busy, so it's a bit of a shock to the system and I get stressed really easily when I'm there. Anyway, I missed my coach back, because I missed my train, because I'm a piece of it and have no sense of direction. Plus I was rushing and panicking. I couldn't get the next coach, because I was out of money and couldn't change the ticket because I'd spent so much on the freaking Oyster card getting around for the weekend, and I couldn't get back to my brother's because that required a working Oyster card. At this point I was really pissed off, worried, and I just wanted to get home. I was outside the coach station and it started raining, and feeling proper sorry for myself I just slumped into a doorway and started blubbing like an asshole. Some girl came across the road and asked me what was wrong. She bent down to face me and her face was kind, so I told her everything and just kept crying. She takes out her purse, hands me a $5, tells me to change my ticket and that it's going to be okay. Then she gave me a massive hug and ran back across the road to the cafe she was sat outside. I went back in, changed my ticket and got home. I never even got her name, but I think about her every now and then when I'm really stressed or sad and remember how a complete stranger reached out to me when I couldn't help myself. Love you, Queen. I don't want to explain too much publicly, but you have helped me now. Thank you. The forever unresolved suspense is driving me crazy right now, lol. I am happy the comment of the other guy made you feel better though, smiley face. Not that it's any of my business, but you seem a bit harsh on yourself. Having no sense of direction doesn't make you a piece of it. Crying when frustrated and overwhelmed is not an arsehole thing to do. May you always get all the kindness you deserve, from yourself and from others. And also you, kind human. As someone from a small town, going to a place like London can be very stressful. When taking the underground you don't want to stop and check directions, train routes, because you feel like you're blocking everyone else, and it feels like everyone knows where they're going, so you stopping feels even worse. I don't know about buses, coaches, but one thing that's good these days is that if you have a contactless debit card, very much the norm in the UK these days, you can use that in place of an Oyster card for the underground, and the amount you pay per day is capped at a fairly low price, so it's always good to know that even if you get the wrong train, or miss your stop, all you have to do is scan your card again and off you go. No more need to put money on an Oyster card that can only be used for TfL vehicles.